Alrighty, folks, it's time again for another deck guide review thingy. And this time, I'm taking after my main man Grappler. It's Teemo time. Let's look at this deck. It's pretty standard Caitlyn Teemo. You've got 3 Otterpuses, synergizes really well with the Puffcat Peddler. You got 2 Purple Berry Shakes to protect the Teemo. You have a Teemo, of course. 2 Mystic Shots. I'd really love to put 3 Mystic Shots in, but it's really difficult to find a spot. Like maybe you could take out an Aloof Travelers and put in another Mystic Shot. But I really like this because it disrupts gameplay and it draws a card for your opponent, which can be the difference between winning and losing. So I've only got 2 Mystic Shots. 3 Veteran Investigators. It's a card that draws a card for your opponent, which is exactly what we want to do. Even if you don't have any mushrooms in the deck yet, it can be worth it to play this on turn 2 just to thin their deck a little bit, make it a slightly better odds of hitting the mushrooms later on. But of course, the best way to be using this card is late game, when you've already got like 50, 60, 70 mushrooms in their deck, and this becomes 2 mana, 3/2, deal 5 damage to the enemy Nexus. And it also gives you more cards. That is phenomenal. You got 3 of the Caitlyns because she synergizes super well with Teemo's mushrooms. You can end up doing 5 or 6 damage with a strike once you have the Caitlyn leveled up, which is pretty easy to do with all of the mushrooms. 3 Get Exciteds because you want a little bit of over-the-top damage. You want to be able to burst them down, and you'll be winning games that are super close. The enemy is about to attack, and you just happen to have Get Excited in your hand. You're going to win games like that fairly often. And you can use it as early game removal because you do want to fight for the board a little bit in the early game. You don't want to get rushed down too hard. So sometimes, especially against aggro, you will be using the Get Excited as removal rather than burn. And that's a-okay. As long as you aren't doing too much. Like, you don't want to lose your win condition. Hexcore Foundry is a 3 of. It's pretty obvious. It draws a card for your enemy, and it draws a card for you. And that's exactly what you want in this deck. And speaking of that, Insider Knowledge, another way to get more Puffcap damage onto your opponent's Nexus. And Puffcat Peddler, probably the strongest follower in this deck. I say probably, only because Ava Achiever and Karina are in here as well. But this is what you want. Like, you mulligan for this card in the early game. You want to have Puffcat Peddler on 3. And it's the main Puffcap engine in the deck. It's not even Teemo that gets you the most Puffcaps. It's this guy right here. This guy is your consistent source of Puffcaps. You definitely drop him on 3, unless you have a read that your opponent has removal for him, and then sometimes you can play something else, but most of the time you're just going to want to drop this on 3. And then the next turn you can play Chump Wump. Although sometimes, like I said, if you know that your opponent has removal for the Puffcat Peddler, sometimes it's better to wait. Play the Chump Wump before the Puffcat Peddler, and then when you drop the Puffcat Peddler, you have 2, what are these called? Poison Puffcaps. You have 2 Mushroom Clouds already in your hand, ready to go. And that can be the difference between getting an extra 6 or 9 Puffcaps in the deck, which is humongous. When you do that 2 or 3 times, like 6 becomes 9, 9 becomes 12, and then when you hit with a Teemo, that's 12 extra Puffcaps or 18 extra Puffcaps, which is phenomenal. This card is what makes this deck possible. You got 2 Stress Defenses. I really like this card. You can use it to save your Teemo, to save your Caitlyn, to save your Puffcat Peddler. You can also use it as a purely offensive tool and, well, rather defensive. You can nerf their Scion into a one-attack unit. Situations like that come up fairly often. This card is really flexible. I almost want to run 2 or 3 of them, but I can only run 2 of them with the version of the deck that I got right now. It's possible that taking out the Aloof Travelers and putting in 1 more Mystic Shot and 1 more Stress Defense is correct, but speaking of the devil, Aloof Travelers, it's not the automatic 3 of that it used to be, but it's still very powerful. It's a card that draws cards for your opponent, and there are instances where you will be overdrawing your opponent when you play this card. So you get to overdraw one of them, destroy a card, and you discard one of their cards at the same time. So that's huge. And plus they're cute. Look at them. You got little Flower Girl and Flower Boy. They're adorable. You got Chump Wump on 4, just recently buffed to a 4-4 instead of a 4-3, and that is humongous. Now he can be blocked by a 2-drop, has 2 attack, and it takes more than just a Vile Feast to kill it afterwards. This card is phenomenal. It gives you the Mushroom Clouds, which is super good with the Puffcat Peddler, and it's also sometimes worth it to discard those with the Get Excited. It really depends on your hand. But Chump Wump is phenomenal. I've got 2 Ava Achievers because this card can close out games super fast. If you hit Teemo, a leveled Teemo, you hit once with a leveled Teemo, and you play Ava Achiever and they can't remove it, you basically win the game. And speaking of winning the game, Karina Mastermind. This card is the last card that you play. This is the game ender right here. This is the top end. These 2 cards are your top end. These will end the game for you. And that's basically how the deck plays. You want to get Teemo on the board as early as possible. You want to get the Puffcat Peddler on the board as early as possible. You swing in for chip damage as much as you possibly can. You destroy their minions and save up for a burn turn where you have Ava Achiever or Karina Mastermind. And if you can get Ava Achiever and then play Karina, that's disgusting. That's 30-40 damage in puff caps right there. It's insane. So yeah, that's basically the whole deck. Let's get into some gameplay. Ooh, Anivia. Looking for a purple berry shake here. Ooh! That's lovely. And we're on odds?
2, 3, 4.
This is phenomenal.
More mushrooms.
Although it almost would have been better to be on evens if he has Vile Feast.
Vandal Scout Troop Leader at your service.
Well,
2 champions
you're
on the board.
certainly the fuzziest
On
partner
turn 3.
I've worked with.
A Vengeance.
I'll scout ahead.
Wow. Okay.
See.
What? What? I'll
Have a
just play
mushroom.
this.
Have 3.
I've heard about you.
That sucks.
Look out! I've always been a fun guy.
I get to heal back up to 2. Saved from this one and the next one. Only 13 puff caps. I don't want to make his AoE any better than it already is either.
Forever watchful.
Rule 102. Practice makes perfect.
I bring the storm.
I'm not afraid.
Nah, forget that
Strike
noise.
them down.
I'll just take the 4 damage. Ooh, solid. I have to wait for him to go under the Ruination mana. I'm just gonna pass. He really wants to Ruinate right now. And I also don't want to commit anything else because of that. Okay, now that he's down to 6 mana, I'm gonna go ahead and play the other
Scout
Ava
recruit
Achiever.
Ava, ready to learn.
Hopefully he doesn't have a second or a third Ravine. I'm betting that he doesn't have 2 more damage AoE, which isn't the safest bet because he's got a lot of cards.
Welcome to the tipsy hour.
But he doesn't have it. Alright, so we're chilling. That's 6 puff caps every round, and they're quadruple when they hit. So 1 becomes 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 cards in hand.
You dropped something.
I dropped everything.
Hey, has anyone seen my diary?
No more harrowing.
This one's on the house.
Just kill me.
Blow winds and crack your cheeks.
I don't have to worry about any over-the-top damage, so going down to this low HP is alright. It is A-okay.
Have a mushroom. Have 3.
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll go up to 9 and then 10 and overdraw 1, unless he plays a card now.
There they go. Knocked and ready.
Now it's time for the Karina.
The Freljord's eternal guardian.
Come on, Karina, big hits. Big hits.
This is our time.
Big hits.
This
Big hits,
my
Karina.
magnum opus.
There's no counter spell, there's no amount of healing that should be able to save him. I'm giving with the preemptive well played. Great victory! Evil triumphs again. Oh, that's great. Back up the plat 2. What's up, baby? What's up? Let's see if we can't get a good game here. I'm not liking this too much. This is elusives. Not the best of starts, to be honest.
I go where the winds blow, for now.
Well, what have we here?
I think our hand has dictated that this is going to be a Caitlyn main game.
One step ahead. That was set.
Eyes open. Watch your branches.
I think I go ahead and develop the Puffcat Peddler. What's their strongest turn? What's their... I need to do this before turn 6, I think. That's punish. If I had played Puffcat Peddler, I would have been able to do something with the Wump. Oh no! This poor guy.
Criminal court. Another case closed.
Oh no! Alright, that one doesn't count. That one doesn't count. This is not the best matchup.
Another
Found a second Teemo though.
armed and ready. More mushrooms.
And we have the Ava in hand. Ooh, and we got a turn 3 play, baby.
Hot on the trail.
Keep all flammables on the trail, but out of tents.
A dark cloud looms on the horizon. You cannot fight the cold.
That maybe wasn't the best play. Now I've put it in range of dying. Shit.
I'm still like a yodel in uniform.
And we yordles in uniform do like a wump. I love the smell of mushrooms in the morning.
Yeah, see, the Caitlyn didn't need to die here.
Carry on.
Okay, that makes it safer to do this.
Swiftly.
We need to go as quickly as possible. Because I've got about 4 or 5 more turns before I'm just dead. Cyrilda? Who is Cyrilda? sucks.
Push on without me.
But it's not a problem because we just drew another Teemo.
I will
Just
bury
draw
you
another
in
Teemo.
ice.
I've memorized all the Battle Scout rules.
He doesn't have enough room for both of them.
How goes
Let's
the
just play another one.
Scout? I'm so excited I could explode, sir.
I'm so excited I could explode, sir.
Never know what hit him.
Here's purple berry. Mmm! Delicious!
Slice doesn't mean everything.
Ah!
I have something very special.
With double. This is nuts! Look at that! 38 damage! Woo-wee!
Victory was the most
38 damage.
along the way.
All we needed to do was go fast, and that's exactly what we did. Holy crap! Alrighty folks, hope you enjoyed those games as much as I did. That was incredibly fun. I have not had this much fun playing a deck in quite a while, and I know that you guys will have fun with it too. Just try it out sometime. It's splendid. Leave a comment down below letting me know what you want to see next, and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.